And good evening, welcome to the Movie Trio. I'm Daniel.
I'm Sherry.
I'm Josh.
And tonight we review Killer Joe, like 2011 Southern Gothic dark comedy.
It was released in 2011?
Yeah, it was made in 2011, but
Really?
since the movie got an NC-17, it's gone, like, they did the film festival route, and, now they're just barely doing, like, the independent art house run throughout the country.
Okay, carry on.
And so, Josh, what's the movie about? Okay.
I saw it.
Yeah, no, he saw the movie, but he was so taken back by it, he forgot what it was about.
Very much the plot is... I don't remember the guy's name.
Oh, Emile Hirsch. He plays as...
His son.
Yeah.
Oh, he plays as Chris, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So pretty much the movie starts out with the guy Chris. He all of a sudden has like this bright idea. Well, he's influenced with the bright idea of... well, pretty much.
Well, let's just keep it simple. Well, first of all, the movie starts off with Emile Hirsch, who plays Chris. He owes a drug dealer money, and I don't think they exactly say how he owes him money. He just owes him money.
No, he's indebted because pretty much he was given cocaine to sell, but his mom took it.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's right. They talk about that in the first 10 minutes.
That's been like at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I guess I saw the boobs and kind of... Oh, yeah, I gotta say, this movie is rated NC-17 for...
You don't see the boobs first.
I know, it's just a joke. Jeez. So anyways, it's NC-17...
You don't saw the boobs first.
It's NC-17 for graphic nudity, violence. It's like...
Disturbing nature. Graphic... What? Sorry.
Yeah, anyway. So, yeah, pretty much this film is for adults. A lot of dark humor. So anyways, back to the plot of the film. So Chris, drug dealer.
Yeah, well, pretty much Chris gets the bright idea like, hey, I don't really like my mom, and she's not really helping anybody. So pretty much someone told me about this guy named Killer Joe, who's a cop, but he's also a hitman for hire. So pretty much she's like, I heard that the mom has an insurance policy, so let's hire him so that we can collect the money, and then pretty much everyone will be happy.
Well, pretty much he hatches the plan in the beginning of the movie with his dad at the time. And then I guess it would be like his stepmom and then his sister. Pretty much they all end up... First of all,
cahoots.
Yeah, first of all, it starts off with Chris and then his dad talking about it. Then the sister finds out about it, and then... So pretty much they all join in on the plot. And pretty much Killer Joe is played by Matthew McConaughey, who, like Josh said, he's a policeman slash hitman, and who requires $25,000 payment in advance for, a hit that's going to be taking place. The only problem is Chris not only owes the drug dealer money, and he's only got a few days, or not a few days, but he's got a certain amount of time.
Days. He's got what is it? I don't know, because the time frame is over the span of 4 days, right? Something like that. It seems like it.
Well, it actually doesn't give a timeline exactly. But like I said, based on what they show in the trailer, Killer Joe's his hitman for hire. Chris wants to have his mother killed because she has his life insurance policy. They pretty much agree to it. The only problem is Chris can't pay the $25,000 advance. So he pretty much puts up his sister as collateral, or a retainer, as Killer Joe puts it. So yeah, did we say who stars in this film?
No.
Oh, I guess I should say the details instead of going into the plot immediately. So Killer Joe is directed by William Friedkin, who is widely popular and known as the director of The Exorcist. It's written by Tracy Letts. What am I?
I had no fucking clue.
Okay, sorry.
Okay.
Written by Tracy Letts, who wrote the play Killer Joe in 1993. Like I said, Killer Joe played by Matthew McConaughey. Chris is played by Emile Hirsch. Juno Temple plays, Dottie, Chris's sister. Gina Gershon plays the stepmom. Charla. Thomas Haden Church plays as Chris's dad, Asner. Or is it? No, it's not Asner.
Ansel.
Ansel. I can't say Asner.
What the fuck's that?
I misread it, sorry.
Oh.
As you can tell, I'm reading off of the monitor. So, anyways. So, he plays as Ansel, not as Asner. I don't know why I saw Asner.
I don't know why either.
I thought it was Hansel and then Ansel. I don't
It
know.
was Ansel. I don't know how the fuck you guys didn't hear that.
Anyway, so like I said, we not only covered the plot, who stars in this film, the ratings NC-17, as I keep repeating, because don't take your mom or your kid to go see this movie. You're going to be very surprised in the first, 2 minutes of the film.
I felt awkward enough with those fucking old people sitting in front of us.
Yes, we saw it in a theater. Not crowded, but there were obviously adults in this theater. And it is kind of weird seeing some senior citizens in the front row.
Right in front of us. Like, oh, gosh.
They're
So
kind
awkward.
and they did comment a little bit about it.
Well, the thing is, the trailer doesn't exactly do the movie justice because it doesn't exactly show you what's to be expected in the movie. I thought it was just going to be like a dark thriller, and it wasn't at all.
Yeah, it was pretty much like, well, it got the, well, actually it wasn't even a thriller. I guess it was just dark comedy, like a real dark comedy.
Yeah.
It wasn't funny.
Yeah, it was. It had a lot
Yeah.
of funny parts in it.
Yeah, funny parts in
Really?
Yeah, it was
I
like,
don't remember, like, fucking laughing out. Well, I guess I did. Never mind. Never mind.
yeah, it's got like dark humor, like American Psycho, pretty much.
I don't know, because like pretty much just obviously just a dark, gritty comedy, but like I didn't think it was gonna be like that. I thought it was actually just gonna be a thriller.
That's true, because the way that they made the trailer seem, it was like really, you know.
Well, yeah, because like the trailer is like, oh man, now he's after us, so what are we gonna do about it? And then pretty much that's when it cuts off, but it wasn't like that at all.
Yep, that's a good point that you bring up, because when we first saw the trailer, we were like, oh man, this is a good movie. Like, they get in over their head, and, you know, he's going to kill them all, and, you know, and it's really not that at all. But it's, in a way, though, Matthew McConaughey, like, the way he plays it, he's pretty feared throughout the movie, though. It's not like everybody is just, like, immediately comfortable with him. But anyways, let's break into the acting. What did everybody think about the acting?
Well, I like Matthew McConaughey. I think he's a good actor. I don't like the guy that plays Chris. What's his name?
Emile Hirsch.
I don't like him. I don't know why. Like, he's a good actor, but I just don't like him.
You don't like him personally?
I don't know.
Oh, that guy's a jerk.
But I like the guy that plays Ansel.
Ansel, yeah.
Whatever.
I don't know why I'm saying it with like an accent.
No. I'm an American motherfucker. Just
What's
kidding.
his name?
Ansel.
No, the actual actor.
Oh, Thomas Haden Church.
Yeah, I like him. I think he's a good actor.
Yeah, he is a good actor.
And the one that played the stepmom, I think she's a good actor too. The one that played the sister, I thought she was okay.
Really, I thought she did a pretty good job for playing. We'll get into more detail about that. But, Sherry, what do you think about the acting?
I really liked it. I didn't. In the trailer, Emile Hirsch kind of sounds like a fucking idiot when he's talking. And then when you actually get into the movie, it wasn't that bad. Or maybe I just adjusted to it, so it didn't really matter to me. What?
That's the point.
No, I know, but sometimes, like, somebody does a Texan accent, and it's funny, like, being from Texas, somebody does a Texan accent, and it just sounds fucking horrible, but, I don't know, his wasn't that bad, and of course, I fucking love Matthew McConaughey. I have nothing bad to say about him. I really, really liked, Thomas Haden Church? Yeah, I really, really liked his character in this movie. It was, I don't know. I really liked his character. His acting, everything was really good. Gina Gershon, I do not like her fucking mouth. It's something about the way, oh god, just thinking about it's like fucking, yeah, the way she uses it in this movie. Horrible. I don't know, it just, well, I mean, she played her part well. She did a really good job. The girl that played the sister, she was, what? Juno Temple? Well, I don't know. She wasn't bad. I don't think she did a bad job at all. She kind of played like like a like a like an Asperger's kind of girl, like a high functioning autism kind of. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Like I don't know.
We'll go into more detail later.
Yeah, I don't. How old was she? Said her character was like. She said she was 12, but I was kind of like.
She clearly wasn't that 12 years.
Yeah, I know, but I was thinking about it, and I was like, well, that would explain the way she's acting. But then I was like, wait a minute, he can't do that. So.
Yeah, and well, like I said, I didn't want to.
Okay, we'll get there. But other than that, I really everybody played their parts well. I think it was pretty well cast.
I think the thing was though, like you could tell that she was like over 18 or whatever, because didn't her brother say that she could use the money to go to like a beauty school or something like that? Or something like that.
I don't know.
Yeah, she did. When when him and the dad are coming back, they're sitting outside smoking the joint, and he says, "Wouldn't this be a better use of the money, so that she could go to that expensive beauty school or that expensive school she wants to go to?" And he's like, "Yeah."
Well, I guess that better explain the well, like the location of the film is set in Texas, but I don't think it specifically says.
No,
It's like the Dallas area though, because
he was a Dallas
Killer Joe was a detective from Dallas. But I guess it better explain like the family that Chris is in and stuff. They're kind of like trailer park trash, to be the nice way of saying it. But
dysfunctional trailer park trash family.
Yeah. Like that's like the best way to put it, to give you an idea.
The mom is an alcoholic and apparently abusive.
Yeah, it's like they're all alcoholics. Yeah. They all smoke. They do drugs.
The dad was pretty much kind of, I don't know, he was like a pushover. He was just a very passive man, just kind of scraping by, just doing whatever the lady wanted him to do. Gina Gershon was a bitch.
Worked at a pizza shop. Anyway.
She worked at a pizza shop and she was... I'm not going to do that yet.
Anyway.
That's a spoiler.
So, is that it for the acting?
Emile was pretty trashy. He was just like, I don't know, like the typical white trash kind of stereotype. And the girl, she was, I don't know, she dressed trashy, but her personality wasn't anything like the rest of the family. I did.
Josh, what do you think about the acting?
You already asked me.
Yeah,
did we?
We're on you.
Sorry. I just want to keep everybody else talking. As far as the acting goes, like I agree with everybody else. The actors were well cast. And the only bad part is though is like even though everybody was well cast, everybody performed well. Matthew McConaughey gets stood out among everybody else.
He outshined everyone.
It's like impossible, to not. In which he clearly was the star of the movie, but he was hardly in the movie also. Because Chris is the main character of the film, but I guess Matthew McConaughey really steals the whole movie, you know what I mean? He's the reason, I think.
Well, he's the reason why there is a movie.
Yeah, obviously he's the title character. And then that guy Chris, like you said, with his southern accent, or his Texas accent.
Yeah, southern accent, I didn't even notice.
Yeah, he did. And the only bad part is
I don't know, I guess maybe it's so bad that I just thought he was just speaking regularly.
Well, the thing is that too, that's the only bad part. It's like you being from Texas and stuff, like we don't realize pretty much where everybody comes from, there is some type of accent. Yeah. Everybody has one.
We have y'all.
Yeah. And
Howdy, y'all.
And the only bad part is... The only bad part is the two Texans in the film were Matthew McConaughey and Thomas Haden Hirsch. And
really?
So, yeah.
I didn't know he was from Texas. Well, he really did sound like a Texan. That accent was quite thick.
He doesn't, from what I heard, I don't know the exact location, but he lives in a small town not too far from here or something.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And then Matthew McConaughey also, I think he lives... Well, I don't know where Matthew McConaughey lives. I thought he lived,
I thought he was from Austin.
Well, I thought he held a house in Austin or something. No, Matthew McConaughey is from a small town. I can't remember that town. I guess I should just bring this up. But,
I keep wanting to say Denton, but I'm thinking of King of the Hill.
But, I don't know. Like I said, the accent from Emile Hirsch is kind of sticks out. Oh, Matthew McConaughey was born in Uvalde, Texas.
Mm.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. My parents had a ranch out there.
So who knows? You could have seen Matthew McConaughey at some point.
Could have seen his truck or vehicle drive by. I wouldn't even have known.
Well, the funny part is, Thomas Haden Church was born in California but raised in Texas. That's what makes it funny too. That's why I was saying. That's why I was kind of laughing about it, because he's like the two Texans. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. It's funny.
But anyway, so back to the acting. Emile Hirsch did a good job, but like you said, he kind of had an accent here and there, and
yeah,
it kind
it's
of
in and out.
But it also makes it difficult for what is it? When Matthew McConaughey comes in, because obviously the guy's a Texan. He's full-blooded Texan right there. And then Thomas Haden Church did a good job as, like you said, like the passive father who's just kind of, that guy is just like trying to make it through life. That's all he's trying to do. It's like,
it wasn't really that. It was just that he wasn't very smart and everyone else around him was. Mm-hmm. So he kind of felt like, oh, I'm obviously not understanding. So I guess that's the reason why he was the pushover.
Yeah, he just kind of blended in the background and went along with the whole thing. Because I think Emile Hirsch or Chris asks him for like $1,000. He says, I've never even seen $1,000. And so, which is kind of like, shows like where these people have been raised and grew up, the kind of lives they lead. And Gina Gershon, like you said, she played, well, like I said, she's the stepmom. So technically she really doesn't have ties to these people, to the other family members. But like, I don't know, in a way, it's I should wait till the spoilers, but she did a good part playing a jerk. She did a good job kind of playing the jerk, kind of the jerk mom, and you get a surprise in the beginning of the movie from her.
Oh, God, yeah.
And then Juno Temple, who plays Dottie, she played her part well, in a way. It's like, at first, like, I wasn't sure, like, in the beginning of the film, as far as, like, trying to learn her character, what she's supposed to do, what she's supposed to be.
Funny name.
Dottie, I know.
Yeah, it's the first time I heard it was Pee-wee's Big
Fucking
Adventure.
Pee-wee, that's what I was thinking the whole time. I was like, Dottie!
I'm a loner, I'm a rebel. But, the funny part is, too, in the movie, there wasn't a lot of actors in the film.
Yeah.
And
there really weren't. No.
And we kind of just follow these core group of people. And yeah, like I agree with everybody, everybody played their part well, but like I said, this is Matthew McConaughey gets
He outshined everyone. There was no competition as far as acting whatsoever.
Yeah, it's like pretty much he stepped into the room and it's like everybody, Well, I'm pretty sure obviously that's the whole point. And, people will say like, well, that's the whole point of the thing. He's a title character. But the thing is that too is like if it was miscast, everybody would be like, oh, well, that guy sucks.
It wouldn't have had the same effect that it did.
And so now we go into, I guess, directing.
Specifics.
Like, no, I was gonna say like directing. I guess at all. Any thoughts on that?
Not really. Thought it was good.
Good director, like.
Yeah, I didn't really have a problem with the style or anything. I liked it.
Well, what is it? I don't know if we mentioned, but William Friedkin and Tracy they directed another one of his, I guess, plays to film, which was Bug from a few years back, with what's her name? It starts with an A. Can't remember. Oh, what's their name? I don't know.
That fucking lady.
She was in Heat. Yeah, I can't remember.
Oh, you're right.
I can't remember her name.
About that.
Like, I don't know why I went blank on her. I see her face, but
I know.
But
Ashley Judd.
Ashley Judd.
Good job.
And so.
I wanted to say like Anne or something. I was like, that's making sense.
So pretty much like they directed that film Bug starring Ashley Judd, which we didn't really care for.
I don't like that movie.
I don't know. Like I said, I thought it was kind of boring too. I don't know why.
I actually did like it.
I guess I gotta watch it again because I don't think I watched it from the beginning. I just kind of walked in the movie because it was on video at the time.
I don't like it. I thought it was kind of pointless. I know like you're supposed to be like, oh, just be invested in these characters and anything that's supposed to drive the movie, but I wasn't feeling it.
Well, anyway, so for these two guys, they had teamed up again for Killer Joe, which we actually thought it was a good movie.
Yeah.
Like good directing, like good writing.
It was a really good movie.
Yeah. And the pace was pretty good. Like it didn't really drag. you know, which, and it was also a short movie too. I think it was like only like an hour and like hour 20 or something.
It was funny because it was one of those movies that I could have like kept on watching.
That's exactly what I was thinking too, because I was like, well, oh, it was only 102 minutes, so it was short of like 2 hours, 18 minutes short of 2 hours. But yeah, the pace was pretty good.
Yeah, I agree. It kept a steady flow. I was just sitting there. I was like, oh, I could watch a little more of this.
Well, I guess because the movie was only made for 10 million, which is technically, I guess, like a lower budget for, you know, I guess Hollywood standard. I guess like they really didn't have any wasteful scenes, I guess, in a way to say. There was like no dead spots as far as like, you know, we could have went without that scene, or they could have cut that a little. I think the only time I saw something that was maybe when Matthew McConaughey first meets Dottie in the trailer, and then they're sitting in the kitchen when she's making him coffee. I think the way they cut it was kind of like, it was kind of good, but at the same time too, I don't know, maybe I expected a little more of like a darker kind of thing. But anyways, like, but either way, like I said, it was just overall, everybody agrees, I guess it was good directing, good pace, not too long, not too short, you know. But even then, it was enjoyable enough to kind of, you know, even if it was a little longer. Let's see, it wasn't really much of a soundtrack, really. They played music a few times here and there.
Well, actually, the only time they ever really played music was like when they were at the strip club, and then that's when and the strip club, the pizzeria, and then like maybe if someone was driving, they'd play like a song like in the background.
Well, you forgot that I don't know why they picked that song. I am curious. For some reason, the song by Tom Jones. No, it wasn't Tom Jones. It was it's called "Strokin'," which is kind of like it's a dirty song.
It was very dirty.
Yeah, I thought. What's his name?
I haven't stroked it in your mouth. I was like, the fuck is this?
Because I thought that what's his name? Tom Jones sang the song, and it wasn't Tom Jones. It was somebody else. It almost sounded like him though.
No, I didn't really.
It was Clarence Carter, stroking.
I don't know who the fuck that is, but I didn't think it was Tom Jones.
I don't know. I thought it was, but anyways. So that was kind of like a dirty song, and like there were some dirty parts in this movie.
Some.
Well, there was a lot of dirty parts. Like I said, you got to be an adult to watch it.
This is a fucking adult movie.
But, okay, well, let's cover some. Well, since that's, I guess, directing, kind of writing, as far as. Well, I was gonna say, like, as far as nudity goes, I was thinking about it. I was like, you know, they actually couldn't show this on TV, but then again, I was thinking about it too, that with some creative editing, they actually could cut out some of these scenes, like, as far as, like.
It wouldn't have the same effect.
Well, like the nudity parts, like, you know what I mean? The strip club and.
Well, the strip club obviously could be cut out there, and it held no relevance.
I guess I was gonna say you can say it, you don't have to show it.
No, like when she's just taking off her bra, there was no. They weren't real. I think you just want to see boobies, you fucking pervert.
So, anyways, okay, fine. We'll move on from the directing and the writing, and then the soundtrack. We already covered that, the very few songs, and then okay, so. Going into plot spoilers, I guess, like as far as like more detail as to what we liked about the film. All right, here's the plot spoilers, people. Here's the warning, and all right, now we're rolling. So, who wants to go first, Josh? Or Sherry? Who's going first?
Sorry.
What do you want to talk about?
Just go.
Well, I don't know, like spoilers. Do you like the ending? Do you thought the ending sucked? Do you?
I don't know. Because the thing was, I wasn't. Like I said, I didn't really know what to expect at the beginning of the movie, so...
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It was kind of bad, because, like, if I had known what I was going into, I probably would have been more like, oh, yeah, you know, I know what to expect, so it'll be more enjoyable than having it take me by surprise, I guess. Because the thing was, though, like, very few movies, like, I can actually go into and it, like, actually surprises me, where I'm like, oh, yeah, I thought it was really good. Because, like, I don't know.
What do you mean surprise, though?
Like, pretty much, like, I guess, like, it grabs my attention, you know? Like, it really don't know, keeps me focused throughout the whole movie because, like, I don't know, I can't really think of an example.
So you don't feel like Killer Joe grabbed your attention?
I don't know, not really. Like I said, I don't really know what to expect.
So it would have made a difference had you known what to expect. You probably would have enjoyed it more, or less, or whatever. Okay.
Yeah. Because like the ending, like I don't know, I thought the ending was good because like it obviously it had like a lot of action in it, but obviously it has that kind of like abrupt ending to it.
But it's also like the dark humor, because in a way it's like, if you really break down the ending, you know what I mean? Well, let's not talk about the ending so soon, since we're...
Well, no, I'm not really going into detail, but like it has like the abrupt ending, and like I don't know, like I said, like if I had known what to expect, I probably would have been like, oh man, that was a great ending, but yeah.
I don't know, like, pretty much like I said, we all saw the trailer, we expected a certain film, like a thriller, you know, he's going to come after them kind of thing. And like you said, we were surprised. I was surprised as well, you know, about how the film turned out, which was a dark comedy, a very dark comedy. It's like you got to have a certain type of humor, because there are certain parts that I was laughing at that other people were not.
I noticed that.
Which I thought was hilarious, because the thing is, it was funny, but then again, my humor is like that. I have like crude humor, I have dark humor.
Very vulgar, crude, dark humor.
Yeah, so for me, like, I thought it was hilarious, but the thing is, somebody else may think of it complete opposite, like, oh my gosh, this is grotesque. And which, the funny part is, on Rotten Tomatoes, it's got a 77% out of 100, which is a very high rating for a movie. And so it's like, I don't know, you gotta understand where the movie is going and where it's coming from, and, you know, the direction that it's heading. Because I think the guy who wrote it, I think he was kind of, in a way, he had a good idea, but at the same time, too, it's kind of like, he really wanted to take it up, like, he wanted to take it to the max, I guess, in a way to say it, as far as, like, graphic and, you know, the humor and all that stuff. But anyways, what else?
Well, because, you know, you guys are saying, like, what do you mean by surprise? Like, an example would be, like, the movie Drive. Because, like, the thing was, though, like, pretty much, like, I didn't think it was going to be as dark a movie as it was, but, like, it actually, I thought it was really good. Yeah.
It was in a good way.
Yeah.
In which it could have been in a bad way. Like, this is awful.
Well, yeah. Well, the thing was, I thought it was really good. Well, pretty much, like, I went to the theater thinking, like, I knew it was going to be a good movie, but I didn't think it was going to be, like, as good, well, as better than I thought it was, I should say.
Interesting.
I guess the good part about me is I went in kind of like a blank slate, because I didn't remember the trailer of Killer Joe. I didn't even remember what movie we were going to see, and then I kept reminding myself, and so I wasn't really, like I said, I kind of went in with a blank slate.
Well, like I was gonna say, which we keep repeating, like, we were surprised by how the film was a different tone than what we had first thought from watching the trailer.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, it's kind of funny, too, because, like I said, a spoiler alert here. As the movie progresses, like I said, at first it starts out with Chris, who comes out with a plot, or he tells his dad, hey, we're going to kill Mom because she's got this insurance policy. And there's this guy we can hire to do it. In which the dad even says, I think he, at one point in time, says, like, oh, why don't we do it?
Do it ourselves, and then Chris is like, do you think you can actually kill somebody?
Yeah.
Somewhere in the pool hall.
Yeah, and
They've already talked to Killer Joe.
Yeah, pretty much, like, with Killer Joe, he's already... They meet him first they're supposed to meet him in the trailer, in which he ends up meeting Dottie, who he kind of has an immediate kind of attraction to. And he talks to her a little bit, in which you find out her mom, the one they are plotting to kill, actually tried to smother her, according to Dottie, like, when Dottie was a baby.
Yeah.
And so, pretty much, in a way, it's kind of like, oh, well, Killer Joe kills this lady. She's a bad lady anyway, so it's not a big deal. Like, she deserves to die, and, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they deserve to die and hope to burn in hell.
And so...
Please carry on.
And so, pretty much, like, Yeah, like they're supposed to meet Killer Joe at the trailer, and then Chris ends up calling him like, "Oh, couldn't get out of work," but Chris didn't even look like he worked there.
No, he said my dad couldn't get out of work.
Sorry, I thought for some reason I was like, "Why is he working?" And so, anyways, so they meet him at this abandoned pool hall, but before Killer Joe hangs up, you can clearly see he's angry about.
Yeah, that's where you get the first taste of his character. His voice is really stern, and he says, "What does he say? Don't change plans on me again."
Well, the thing is, though, too, is that you immediately know his character once he gets out of his car because the dog that they have,
It was a pit bull. It fucking didn't even bark, but it barks at everybody else.
Yeah, so which obviously this guy is not somebody. He's feared. Yeah, pretty much he's feared. But even then, it's like he dresses in black and stuff. Actually, he doesn't dress. He wears a black jacket, black hat.
Just in dark colors, not like.
But and then when they meet Killer Joe in the pool hall, he kind of gives them the rules of how everything's gonna go, and he even tells Chris like, "Oh, you don't even know what you're. So this is serious business." I forgot I forgot the line that he tells him. Because
no. That's a different part when he says like, "Don't push it."
Oh no, that was a different part. But remember when he's about to leave the pool hall, he says, "Don't be like effing," or I can't remember what the line was.
I remember he told him that he couldn't take him seriously, and then, fuck, what does he say?
Yeah, like don't be like effing in this business or whatever, or something like that.
No, he said this is fucking serious business.
Yeah. And, well, regardless, pretty much that's the line, which is funny. I laughed at that line because...
I did. Well, it was funny. Yeah. It is fucking serious.
Yeah, so, like I said, how Chris gets in the mess of having to give up his sister to Killer Joe is, like we said, Killer Joe demands an advance of $25,000, in which this insurance policy that is only supposed to be $50,000, obviously that takes half of their money right there. And Killer Joe demands it in advance, and they don't have the money, obviously. So they try to, get him to bend on that rule, in which he refuses. But then, like I said, when Killer Joe first meets Dottie is actually the one that leads him to the pool hall. She's there dancing in the street like an idiot.
She's a free spirit.
But the thing is, she's dancing in the street. You figured a car would come by.
That's what I was slightly concerned about. I was like, where are the fucking vehicles in this town?
That's what I was laughing about. I was like, where's the cars? So anyways, so like I said, Killer Joe already has this immediate attraction to her, and so he says, well, we never discussed a retainer, in which at first they kind of, was it his stepdad, or no, his Chris's dad, Ansel, doesn't understand what retainer is, and so Chris has to explain it to him that
retain what?
in which Chris explains.
That was after he had already left them.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry. So pretty much Killer Joe says, well, we never discussed a retainer.
The possibility of a retainer, and then Emile Hirsch is like, what? Yeah. And he says, Killer Joe says, call me if she's interested.
So pretty much it's like, I want your sister, pretty much. And so pretty much Chris at first, he's kind of like, he doesn't want to do it, but at the same time too, I don't know, like it's kind of like almost like an incestuous kind of thing.
It was fucking weird. He had that dream, and then she was fucking naked, and then she does like karate. No, she like does the punches, and I was like, what the fuck is going on here? But he's like kind of moaning and fucking tossing and turning. I was like, I don't know about this.
Well, the thing is though too, it's like it's kind of, I don't know, the whole plot of his whole scheme and everything like that night that he discusses with his dad, you know what I mean? Like I said, it kind of gives you that whole, and then he talks about her being a virgin too.
Yeah, that was fucking weird too. But that whole thing came up because they were talking about Joe, like what she might have to do or whatever, so he was just like, I think it just came up as a, like this is a possibility, but if she's still a virgin, then,
I don't know, I don't remember that. Well, I was going to say, like, when they come back from the strip club and they discussed it, that's when he mentions the virgin part. And then they mention it again after Joe.
I don't remember. I thought the first time they mentioned it was after Joe. Okay, go.
But anyway, so like I said, Chris goes along with it at first, but you can clearly tell he's not comfortable with it, which is kind of weird because in a way it's like it's not really protective, kind of, but
It was a little more than it was a little more than brotherly protective. It was like, it's my bitch.
that's kind of weird.
I don't think so. I think it's more or less kind of like he idolized her because out of all of them, she was the only good one.
Well, yeah, I think that's what they're going for too, as far as like, the clothing and stuff, and
Yeah.
like she's like the flower in the rough kind of thing, or a diamond in the rough, excuse me.
We're in the rough.
Shut up.
What are you fucking picking?
The flower's all messed up. Don't worry, it'll get good.
It'll get good.
And so pretty much, what is it? So we're pretty much they don't even tell Dottie that she's gonna be
They
meeting with.
tell her like a couple of minutes before it's happening.
Mm.
And then even though she's supposed to be kind of slow, I think she explains it because she was suffocated at a young age. And I thought that was what altered her, or no?
No.
Sure.
Yeah, she just brought that up as a fucking
Conversation.
starter.
So, all right, sorry, I thought that's what it was.
No, they never said anything about that.
And-
Well, the thing was though is that pretty much, I guess everyone thought that she was kind of like the dad, like she was kind of slow, but she actually knew more than she let on.
Yeah.
And so the dad just like assumed that she was, I guess, slow like him. So pretty much, like, I don't know, it seems like she kind of pretty much she acted like a child most of the time.
That's what I'm saying, like Asperger's syndrome or something. It's a high functioning autistic person.
Yeah, and maybe she was. Like, I don't think they actually go into that. Like I said, I don't think they actually go into that, though. And so, pretty much, yeah, like, right after, like, she meets Killer Joe for dinner, it kind of takes off from there, and they end up having a relationship, and then,
Let's be in love.
yeah. And then, what else goes on there? It turns out Gina Gershon, the stepmother, is having an affair.
With the ex-wife's boyfriend or whatever. That was fucking weird. Gross. Fucking dick in the same man. Ugh.
Well, the funny part is,
Whatever.
but the
Me like that.
but the weird part is though too, it's like pretty much like I said. Here's a spoiler: as you watch the film, like I said, Chris was supposed to have the idea to kill his mom. Well, even then, Chris eventually says that he doesn't want his mom killed, but Killer Joe already did it,
Yeah.
and so it was already too late at that
Yeah.
point. And then come to find out that Dottie was supposed to be the beneficiary of the money, and it turns out she wasn't. So the funny part is this family, all of them are kind of slow to begin with, but as far as like plot goes, we're supposed to discover this,
Yeah.
Anyways, they start to question Chris as to who told them about the money.
Yeah.
The
Who told him about Killer Joe? Who was he with? Yeah, all that.
And it turns out it was his mother's boyfriend, Rex. He's the one that told him about the life insurance policy.
About Dottie being the beneficiary, and then about Killer Joe.
Yeah, in which pretty much, like an idiot, Chris doesn't put it together
Yeah.
that...
It takes him saying it out loud that he's like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, that pretty much Rex twisted him, like, pretty much... is that the way to say it?
He was drunk and he fucking influenced him. That's
Yeah.
what it was.
So pretty much Rex...
Pretty much to get his way so that he wouldn't have to get his hands dirty. He influenced Chris so that he would get everything done.
Yeah, pretty much. And so now, not only does Chris owe the drug dealer, he owes Killer Joe. His mom's dead, and he doesn't get any of the money. That's pretty much what we discover, right? And but then as the movie progresses a little more, we already know that Gina Gershon is... Actually, we don't discover that she's dating Rex, right?
Until the end.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, you
nearing
do.
the end.
Yeah, it's like near the end.
Kind of. Because when she meets him at the motel.
Yeah, but we don't know who he is,
car.
I guess I figured it out
Yeah,
before
I guess
then.
I did.
Well,
too.
yeah, in a way though, it's kind of like I don't know.
Wow, you're slow.
I know. Well, the funny part is though, it's like you kind of put it together
Yeah.
with the hotel thing, but you're not 100% sure because it could just be some guy.
Yeah. And they never showed Rex's face either. They just showed like
Show,
his
like, the
hair,
side of the
the
face.
side of the car. It wasn't anything like that you would. I don't know. I just thought that was funny.
And the funny part is, though, it's like pretty much. What does anybody else have any other plot spoilers? Because I'm kind of just talking about. I'm describing the film.
Fucking interrupted everybody.
Well, you should have said something.
I don't know. The thing is, though, is that pretty much they all figured it out, but Killer Joe had it. Pretty much, he had most of it already figured it out, like what was going on before.
Pretty much, the detective figured out what
Yes,
was going
yes.
on.
The detective did his job and figured it out before everybody else.
The whole scam that was going on.
Mm-hmm.
And what else?
What do you mean? That's pretty much it.
Oh no, I was talking about like.
I do not advocate, excuse me, for domestic violence or anything like that, but fucking Gina Gershon had it coming, man. Like from the very beginning, she was an asshole with Ansel, and then she was lying to Matthew McConaughey, and the whole thing. So when he starts like that chicken was amazing. It was fucking weird, and then it.
Well, I think the funny part is like I said, the pace of the movie moves so fast, in my opinion, that it's kind of like everything we're describing now is kind of like it's pretty much like the ending of the movie now. It's like.
Well, I can go back to I don't know why, and it was fucking weird, but I really liked when he told her to go get the dress and that whole sexy part that followed. And I felt a little weird because I was like, this is fucking sexy, and there's people sitting in front of us that are like old enough to be my parents, and especially like my mom. That's what I was like, oh no. And so I don't know, it was just weird.
Yes,
It was a good part.
And the funny part is, I was going to say about the Killer Joe character, is not only is he very serious, he doesn't make any jokes at all. He's very precise. He's very respectful of everything,
Yes, yes. Even when he was fucking beating Gina Gershon, he was like, I didn't resort to name calling, so I'd appreciate it if you didn't. And like, it was, yes. And even when he's doing that whole scene with the fucking girl.
Dottie?
Dottie. I don't know how I forgot that. Even when he's doing the whole scene with Dottie, everything is like so nice and soft and gentle, and I was just like, oh man, it's sexy. He didn't even get rough.
Well, he kind of did. In a way, I think.
Because he was like, look at the dress. Where are you going? Get over
Well,
here.
yeah, but that's not, I don't consider that rough though.
Well,
like, I'm thinking when he's.
I guess she was shaking.
That wasn't rough.
Maybe she liked it so much that she was just excited. That's funny because I didn't consider any of that rough. Like, I don't know. Maybe I just have a different perception of it than.
You like to be manhandled, Eddie?
Well, the thing is, though, too, is like you discover about Dottie, though, is kind of like like Chris and Killer Joe kind of control her.
You see that a lot throughout the movie. There's like a power struggle between them over her.
And then, oh yeah, we'll go on. Like anything else?
Go ahead.
I like the part when they're at the insurance place and then he has like the string loose on his sleeve.
No, Ansel and
Ansel and his lady Charla, they're going to claim the insurance, and he keeps seeing something on his shoulder, and he keeps looking. And it was funny because I saw it too. I was like, is that fucking hair? And then he's trying to get it. And then she pulls it. And the fucking sleeve on his coat just falls. And she's just...
Which you laugh because in a way it's kind of like... The funny part is that's like one of the cheesiest jokes throughout the whole film.
And it was the best one. That one really fucking got me.
Which is the funny part is like it's a super... Like it's a very dark humor film. But that was like the cheesiest...
That's such an innocent joke. It's just like... Yeah, that was a good part. That was. I liked when Emile Hirsch is chased by the drug dealers, and then the boss guy gets off, and he's like, "Oh, you missed my birthday," and whatever. And they're fucking making small talk, and he's like, "Oh yeah, how's the wife?" And then he says, right after the guy threatens him, he says, okay, these guys are going to beat the shit out of you, and if you don't have my money, I'm going to come back in a few days, I'm going to tape you up, and then I'm going to bury you 10 feet under, some shit like that. And he's like, but I'll tell whoever that you asked about her, that'll make her day. I just thought that was great. I was like, that's a fucking gentleman right there.
Well, actually, like I said, it's like that dark humor thing. It's like this man is talking to him like he's a friend, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, well, you know, if you don't have my money, I'm going to beat you to death, and, you know, or these, you know.
One thing was, I think that pretty much they kind of were friends, because they were kind of like in business together. Yeah. But the thing, because even the guy's, I guess say henchman, was like, so he really likes you, you know, and then he just like beating him. The shit out of him.
like I said, that dark humor again.
Yeah, it was.
Like those pieces in there, like all over the place.
But I did like the special effects, like when they were beating him and everything. I thought they were really good.
Yeah. The funny part is like the bloody parts were bloody. That is exactly what.
It was great.
And the funny part is like when people were hit or they had bruises, they actually had the bruises, like, you know, because
Emile Hirsch's face, like, man.
They pretty much made it look swollen because obviously he got beaten up. Mm-hmm. So like he was hurt one day and then the next day his face is clear.
Yeah, bad.
I don't know, because like just going at the end when pretty much Matthew McConaughey punches that lady in the face, like the one thing I noticed was like her teeth were always clean. Yeah. Because her nose was bleeding, and like when that happens, like people's mouths, like they get blood in it, so their teeth are red. But that didn't happen with her.
Really? Her teeth were red.
There was one part when her teeth were, like, she had gotten blood and shit in her mouth, and they were all red.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most of the time I saw it, it was all white.
No, it's kind of
like,
gory.
Near the middle of her beating, she was fucking, she had blood and shit in her mouth.
Use that chicken grease.
Yep.
The K-fried C. It's fucking weird. I liked, I liked where they cut off at the end. Not many movies can do that, just fucking, like, cut there and then, you know, and that one, I don't know, I feel like that one played it pretty well.
The only bad part is I expected a sequel.
I don't.
I expect a sequel now. It's hope. Like the dark family.
I really...
The funny part about it, though, is, I guess, about the ending, though, it's like, in a way, Killer Joe wanted them to be a family, though. You know what I
mean?
Yeah.
He had them, after he beats the crap out of Gina Gershon, like, he breaks her nose. Yeah. He has them all sit around the dinner table getting ready to eat food.
Set the table for a proper dinner. That was what he told her. That was funny.
Yeah, and the funny part is, too, it's like how she didn't realize, the character does realize that he was interrogating her when he had come back, you know? Because, like, before the show's the trailer, you see Matthew McConaughey, or Killer Joe, pull over the guy in the Corvette, the one who Gina Gershon was having an affair with, which we learned was Rex. And so, who stole the money, he had claimed the insurance money. Yeah. And then Killer Joe is up with the check, but nobody can cash it because it's in Rex's name. And at first, I thought Killer Joe killed Rex, but it said he just left town.
I thought it was implied that he killed him. Because the thing was, though, she was like, well, I can get him, and then just started beating her because he said, no, you can't.
Yeah, that's actually true, yeah, because at first it made it seem like, well, he said he left town, he gave me this check before he left town, but I think, like you said, I guess maybe he was lying, because if you think about it, Killer Joe was very particular because he actually made the agreement with Chris and his dad, Ansel, and he didn't expect them to tell Gina Gershon. Yeah. And then, well, Dottie was already in on it, but then again, they were eventually all in on it. Yeah. But Rex was a silent partner because you learn that, I don't know, in that Gina Gershon's character and Rex were having a relationship.
Well, yeah, that's the reason why she had so much insight as to what was going on.
She knew the 100,000 before anybody else did.
Yeah, because it was an accident, so not an actual, like...
Yeah, not natural cause. It was a sudden accidental death.
Yeah, so the 50,000 turned into 100,000. Doubled. And the thing was, though, I guess maybe she had pictures of her and Rex, And
Yeah,
That's
she
what it
did.
was.
Yeah.
That's why he kept saying, "Whose dick is this?"
Well, I know, but the thing was, though, I guess her plan was probably
I love
to.
that part. He's like, "Is this your dick?"
I guess the plan was for her that she was gonna take the money, all the money from Rex. I guess was that the idea?
I figured that it was going to be like they were going to split it because they were kind of in on it also. Because she didn't, as Matthew McConaughey said, she didn't give any kind of like, hey, I don't think you should do this or whatever. She kind of helped influence the whole thing. You know, so I figured they were going to kind of do like a 50-50 with her and Rex.
Because in a way, that I thought that's why she had the pictures to blackmail him. But I don't know.
I think it seemed to me like she was just keeping them as sexy pictures.
Well, the funny part is too, though, is how.
Well, yeah, because you remember when she was on the phone, the guy was asking, "Are my face in the picture?" She's like, "No, your face isn't in the picture."
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. I missed that little line. I forgot about that line, I should say. But the funny part is, though, Rex drove a Corvette.
Yeah.
How does a man drive a Corvette and need $100,000? In which it's money anyways, but still, like, to go through the trouble of getting involved in the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's like, if you got a Corvette, you're sort of well off, you know? Unless you had to make payments on the Corvette.
Yeah, I see a lot of fucking people making payments on Corvettes.
Yeah, I know. But still, like, you figure somebody, I don't know. To me, I think in a way it's kind of implied like, oh, we got money. So, in a way, sorry, jeez. So back to the
back
film.
to the fucking movie.
So like we said, the detective Killing Joe pretty much puts it together. And the thing is though too is like he pretty much had to kill Rex because he was actually a silent partner that he didn't know.
Loose end.
Yeah, pretty much he was a loose end, a partner who wasn't involved.
Yeah.
And pretty much in a way it's like obviously like you said, a loose end, someone who could rat out Killing Joe. And so the funny part is too, I thought he was gonna kill Gina Gershon because she was also, I think, like I said, the way the plot goes, the way the movie goes, towards the end, it makes it seem like he's gonna kill everybody and he's gonna take Dottie with him. And
I kind of was expecting that, and then no.
No, because the thing was, it seemed like he wanted, pretty much, as you were saying, like he wanted it to be a family, but the only way that would work is if Chris wasn't there.
yeah, because pretty much it turns out that, because at first it's kind of like Chris is kind of like the bad influence, and then it's like, oh no, he's actually not a bad influence, and then he actually really is, you know what I mean?
Well, he's not, I guess you say he is a bad influence because he always has bad ideas that never work. Pretty much he just gets him into trouble.
Yeah, and
That fucking horse race pissed me off. I was like, you fucking have $1,000 and you're gonna do that?
well, the thing,
Anyways.
well, I was gonna say too about the ending. Might as well I guess we can talk about the ending. You know, obviously, if you don't want to know what the ending is, then probably fast forward or stop here.
You can stop here.
And well, pretty much what ends up happening was Killer Joe discovers the entire plot that Gina Gershon and Rex were gonna have. They're gonna pretty much steal $100,000, and I guess she was gonna run off with Rex and leaving Chris high and dry, as well as Ansel and Dottie. In which I guess maybe she expected Killer Joe to kill them. Maybe, I don't know.
I don't know what she was expecting, but she was completely surprised at the end when he starts questioning her.
Yeah, pretty much starts interrogating
Yeah.
her about who Rex is, and she tries to play dumb, like, oh, I don't know what you mean, like.
Well, I thought, yeah.
Yeah. And which then Killer Joe eventually like breaks her nose, getting all the information out of her, and it's like you kind of think he's gonna kill her, in which he doesn't, and you think he's gonna, like I said, you think he's gonna kill that whole family. He obviously doesn't, but like I said too, he wants them to be a family, which is surprising. Chris is like turns out to be I guess, pretty much Dottie decides how the outcome is.
Yeah.
Because pretty much she ends up killing Chris.
Yeah, she does. So stupid.
Yeah. Because the funny part is, it's like, you think that she's actually going to shoot everybody. You think she's going to shoot Joe, and she doesn't.
Well,
Well,
you don't know if she
that
does.
because it cut off.
Well, it cuts off, but the thing is, though, but like I said, I think she made the choice of who was going to live and who was going to die. And it actually wasn't Joe who was going to do it. Because the thing is, though, you think about it, Chris is in debt to that drug dealer. He's going to die anyways. Which, in a way, is kind of like, well, would Killer Joe get him out of it? But Killer Joe said he likes the drug dealer that Chris is involved with. And so it's like I said, Donnie kind of made the deciding factor, like who's the worse or evil, or the lesser evil, excuse me.
Worser.
Shut up. So is it Chris or Killer Joe? And
Yes,
which,
we are from Texas.
and so pretty much she picks Chris as, you know, the one who's got to go.
Well, the funny part though is that pretty much from Matthew McConaughey starts beating him up. The way he was beating him, he actually should have died
That
before.
fucking can, that pumpkin can, I was like, oh no.
Like, pretty much like they were beating him like pretty much he should have been dead before he even got shot.
And I think the only bad part is though too, it's like Gina Gershon comes in with a glass bottle and like breaks it over.
Over his head.
Yeah, pretty much. And then
Ansel's got his fucking legs. He's like, I got him, Joe.
so the bad part is it's like they kick Chris out of the family.
But it was because Matthew McConaughey said that if they let Chris take Dottie out of the house, that he would slaughter the whole family. That's what made the difference. Like, I don't know that fucking Ansel would have gone and held his legs if that wasn't on the table, you know. So.
I don't know, but I do like that scene though where he was like hitting him in the face with the can and everything. But like I said, he should have been dead.
Yeah, technically speaking, he probably was almost dying. Probably.
Well, he looked like he was fucking dying, and then Dottie shot him, and then he finally died. Like, it was just a shoulder shot, and it fucking...
She shot him in the chest.
Really? Because I thought it was, like, right here.
It shot him right in the chest because he's wearing a white shirt, and you see all the blood coming out of his chest.
I saw it, like, from a different spot then, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, and I also actually explained that.
He got stabbed in the shoulder because that lady stabbed him with the knife.
Oh,
and he
yeah,
dropped the
that's
gun.
right, in the left hand.
Oh, you're right. All right.
No, I guess to explain a little more in detail, Chris's plan was to go to Peru with Donnie. They're gonna drive there somehow, and
Yeah. The fuck are you gonna get to? Anyways.
in his jalopy, anyways, and so they pretty much after Killer Joe gets all the information out of Gina Gershon's character, and Ansel learns that Gina Gershon has been cheating on him, and he sees the pictures of her and Rex, and the funny.
Her and some man's dick. That's what he saw.
Well, they eventually know that it's Rex, obviously. And the bad part is, too, like I said, it's like, you really think Killer Joe's going to kill Gina Gershon's character, and Ansel's just going to let it happen because, obviously, his heart's been broken, I guess, you know?
I wouldn't say.
And he even says, you made your bed and I got to lie in it.
No, I gotta sleep in it.
Sleep in it, sorry.
I'm just kidding. It was the other way.
Uh-huh.
Anyways.
And then,
Yeah.
like we already said, Killing Joe says, I'll slaughter the family if you let Chris take Dottie. And when Chris comes in, you see that he's bought a gun, and not everybody knows that he has a gun on him.
Yeah.
So they're sitting at the table, they start arguing over Dottie to tell her to get her stuff, and then Joe tells her to sit at the table. Dottie gets up, and Chris is like, yeah, go get your stuff, and then that's when he pulls out the gun on Joe,
Yeah.
and yeah, this whole fight ensues. The family pretty much helps out Joe kind of hold down Chris, which he didn't need the help. Like,
Well, I don't know, because, like, I mean, it didn't really look like she was going to go to her room. It looked like she was actually going to leave the trailer.
Yeah, that's what I thought, that she was gonna just get up and leave.
yeah, that's true too. Like, she was just gonna run out.
But it was, like, pretty much when Chris pulled out the gun.
Yeah, and that fucking changed everything.
Like I said, it's like,
And then you get the surprise at the end that she's pregnant.
after she kills
Yeah,
Chris,
after
shoots
she
her
kills
dad.
Chris, well, that's why I was thinking, because you were saying that she made the decision of who to live. And then I was thinking about it, I was like, well, maybe she did and maybe she didn't, because she still moved her hand she still moved her finger over the trigger. But at the same time, it's kind of like, I was wondering how many bullets she had left, first of all. I was trying to count and I was like, I don't remember. But anyways, and then I was like, well, would she do that to the father of her child, being like, you know? Because they did have a relationship, and they were like, she was invested in the relationship. She was constantly asking about him, and even after, well, not after, because the retainer was going on through the whole movie, but he was just there, like he was practically living there, and so he would sleep with her, and then, you know, and so. Not just the fucking, he would go in and sleep with her, apparently.
And then walk around naked.
And walk around naked, like when he surprised Chris and got on top of him and fucking, that was... yeah, and then he stood up and you could... Yeah.
You didn't see his junk, but you saw his butt.
You saw his junk moving. from behind because they do like this
Sorry, I
weird
wasn't looking
between
that-
the leg shot.
I wasn't looking that closely.
I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna see his dick. I was staring at the screen intently.
The funny part is the only ones who didn't appear naked was Emile, Hirsch, and Thomas Haden Church. They're the ones who did not.
The only ones that you did not see like a dick or a
Pretty much like.
balls, butt, something. Yeah.
Which was funny.
I didn't
In a
like,
way, it's funny, but at the same time.
I have to say this: I didn't like how all the women were furry. I know. I'm just saying, like.
I guess because they can't show too much.
Well, they showed plenty.
They showed a lot of shit. Like, I don't know.
The only thing they
Preference,
didn't, like they say in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, the only thing they didn't show was penetration.
Pretty much.
Well, the funny part is though,
I didn't like that.
The funny part is though, I think the reason why they did the thing with the chicken was because they couldn't show her actually doing that. I think they kind of did it in that way because obviously you can't show her giving him that, oral sex, I should say. And was there another scene? Actually, no. Like, I guess
that was the only thing I didn't like.
Yeah, because if you think about it, there was nothing like that scene throughout the rest of the movie.
What do you mean?
There wasn't another scene where they kind of simulated.
Where he's giving head? Where she's giving head, or what?
No, simulating sex through,
Oh.
No, there's only two.
Yeah, when he's behind her at the thing, and then.
With the chicken, that's it.
Yeah, any kind of sexual activity, is that what we're doing?
That's pretty much it.
Well, I think the thing with the chicken was the simulation. With him and Dottie, like, they actually do eventually have sex. Like, they kind of do it in,
Sexy way. God damn.
So, let's see, where do we leave off at? The surprise twist at the end is that Dottie's pregnant, which out of all the
I had figured that out already. I don't know if you guys did, but she was like, I need to talk to Joe. I was like, oh shit, she's fucking pregnant.
Yeah, and all the times they had sex, you gotta figure.
I know. I was like, they've been fucking. And then Emile Hirsch was talking about rabbits. I was like, damn, fucking irony.
Yeah, I know. But the funny part is, like, I immediately thought of another podcast, and they were talking about another film with Al Pacino in 88 Minutes where Al Pacino was, he had slept with this woman who was murdered the next day, and they're like, you were the last person to see her alive, and we found your semen inside of her. And they were like, oh my gosh, like, Al Pacino raw dogging it. And immediately I was thinking, well, because you hear Dottie get pregnant, I was like, geez, you think Killing Joe would actually risk that? Like, a dangerous man, like, you know what I mean?
I kind of figured that he would.
Well, the thing is, I guess he was attracted to her because she was the free spirit.
And
like, she was
also
innocent.
a virgin. She was, like, pure. Like, I think that's how everybody saw her. That she was just so pure of heart. She was,
I thought she was a whore.
Oh, I fucking saw it a mile away.
Well, the funny part is that, too, it's like, you think about it, in the finale, the final scene, Matthew McConaughey is dressed completely in black, you know what I mean? So in Wicks, it's kind of like, I don't know if I'm reading too much into it. It's like, kind of like he's pretty much like a devilish character, you know what I mean? He's got control over this.
Sexy.
Well, he's got control over this family. Yeah. He's got control over their virgin daughter. You know what I mean? And not only that, they're in debt to him. You know what I mean? So it's like they got to sacrifice the virgin daughter. And, well, she was no longer a virgin at that point, but they got to sacrifice their daughter to live. In which I don't know if they were going for that as far as the storyline goes and stuff. But in a way, it's kind of like, geez, they kind of go into the dark side there. But, so, any other thoughts as far as like the ending, or do you think that she would have shot Killer Joe at the very end before it cut off?
I don't know. I'm still up in the air about that. I would. I'm just like a sucker for happy endings, so I would hope not. But at the same time, it's like, well, he kind of did beat your brother like right in front of you.
But the thing,
She killed him.
Well, no, I know, but like.
Well, the thing is though, too, though, it's like before Chris pulls the gun, Killer Joe announces a toast that they're gonna get married. Him and Donnie are gonna get married. And that she accepted, and she's all smiles.
Yeah.
So the thing is, though, it's like, does she pull the trigger? I don't think so. I doubt it.
I would hope not. I don't know. It's kind of a, I don't know. Just like you said, she seemed like, I don't want to say genuinely, but in the movie, she seemed genuinely happy. So I don't know. I'm kind of like, well, you have to stop and think about that, because I think she would have probably kept him around. I would have.
Well, like I said, though, too, it's like, given that they're going to
And he seemed happy, too.
I know,
She was like, I know, he was like, what? Like, fucking surprised and, like, proud daddy and everything. And then, like, I don't know, I would have to say, like, I don't know.
The funny part is the killer has a heart.
I know, he does fucking bringing his demon seed into the world.
Well, pretty much. That's kind of like I said, as far as the whole analyzing the final scene. But yeah, like I said, it's just funny. This huge smile on his face, in which I started kind of laughing because it's like, oh my gosh, like there's gonna be more of them.
Yeah.
And so yeah, like I said, I honestly don't think that she killed him at the end. I think she probably would have put the gun down. And
Well, Gina Gershon was still alive, too.
and the thing was, though, Ansel was like, he was like, I want to celebrate.
Yeah.
I want to celebrate their union or whatever. He was about to say
to be the first to congratulate.
Yeah, that's right. That's what he said before Chris cut him off.
Yeah.
Oh, shut up, old man, before I rip your head off.
Oh, that's funny.
Like you said, it's that dark humor in which, it made me laugh. I cannot remember the part that I was just laughing so hard at, though. Do you remember at all?
No, I was fucking laughing at the Gina Gershon part, and then, like, I don't know. I don't remember. There was a lot of good parts in there.
Jeez, I gotta watch the movie all over
I
again
know.
now.
I want to see it again.
I would watch it
That
again,
That's at the end.
Like I said, I'd watch it again, and at the same time, too, it's like I think I'd want to hear the director commentary, and if they even got lucky enough to get Matthew McConaughey to do a commentary, I'd be very curious to hear him talk about his, him preparing for the film, and, everything else as far as, like, how they put it together. But, yeah. So, what do you think, Josh? Do you think she pulled the trigger at the end? Fish or cut bait?
Should I do? I don't know, because the thing was, though, it seemed, because like you said, he was happy, but the thing was that he moved close enough to where, like, even if she attempted to, he could have moved it out of the way. Because it seemed kind of like he was reaching for it at the end.
I didn't think about that.
Well, at the same time, too, though.
Because the thing was, though, he was like, our baby, and then like he like reaches his hands up, and then it cuts to black.
Well, at the same time, too, though, it's like you never know. You could have just ran and hugged her or something, for all we know. Because the thing, for a guy who's killing people, you know what I mean? Obviously, he's going to be happy. Oh, life. I made life. What do you think, Sherry? Did she pull the trigger or no?
I already went.
Yeah, you already
No,
asked
I'm
her.
sorry. I was going to ask. I forgot. So,
Well, too bad. I'm not saying it again.
uh,
Said a
so,
bunch of shit.
so I guess pretty much we're going to wrap it up now, like, as far as the review goes.
Yep.
So, is it recommended for, who do you recommend it to if you would recommend it? Is it worthy to watch in the theater or watch on video?
I'd say take your family.
So this is a great kids movie.
Yeah.
Sunday
take your
afternoon.
family, take your parents.
Sunday afternoon after church.
Yeah. Go sit with your pastor.
Well, I'm asking you.
I don't know, because like I said, like I think I need to see it again. I thought right now it's like okay, but I'm pretty sure if I watch it again, I'll probably be like, oh, that's pretty good.
But
Would I recommend it? Would I recommend it to you? Obviously, no one under 17, because they wouldn't be able to watch it. But I don't know. I'm actually curious is if there's like an unrated version. I guess.
that is the unrated version,
Wow.
technically.
All right, whatever.
There might be like deleted scenes they cut out, but
I would love to see deleted scenes from that movie.
maybe there's a director's cut, I should say. Like,
I don't know, but like, I don't know. I guess I'd recommend it to people that like dark comedies, or I guess like really dark movies. Because obviously I can't recommend it to someone that doesn't like that genre, because they're gonna be like, "Oh, I should have seen that movie."
I'm a fucking weirdo.
you're basically saying fans of Matthew McConaughey's like failure to launch movie do not go watch Killer Joe expecting.
This is not a fucking failure to launch kind of movie.
Yeah, it is. It's a sequel.
So Sarah Jessica Parker's character. Was Sarah Jessica
I
Parker in
don't
that movie?
know.
I
I
don't
never
know.
saw it.
Yeah. I'm the only one that saw that movie.
No, I didn't watch it at all.
Yeah.
I think I like watched like 5 minutes of it on TV, and then I was like, I can't watch this.
I remember watching the one with
You watched 10 minutes and you were like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I remember the one with the gold or something. Him and I think it was
Oh.
Goldie Hawn's.
Gold or something.
Yeah, Goldie Hawn's daughter or something.
I don't know, I never saw that one either.
Gonna be like Sean Penn. Like I saw him in something.
Yeah.
But so you and well, you're saying you gotta watch it again, but you're kind of like only adults should really see this movie.
Well, that's all who can really see it, because I'm pretty sure like a kid obviously gonna get upset.
In the theater and watch it on video.
I don't know. It's kind of tough because like I think I'd probably say wait. I guess because the thing is though, like I don't know. 'Cause-
I guess if you can find a theater that's showing it.
Well, yeah, that too. But the thing is though, like I guess I would wait when it comes out like on DVD or something, so that way you can watch a little bit of it. If you don't like it, you just turn it off.
Good point, I guess. And that way you don't have to really waste too much money as far as whether or not you're gonna like it. You know.
Mm.
And then Sherry, what do you think?
You pay $5 for a soda.
Oh, I know. We paid 10 something for 2 drinks. Anyways, I really, really enjoyed the movie. I would highly recommend it for obviously fans of Matthew McConaughey, fans of like smaller art kind of films, independent films, stuff like that. Definitely do not go with your family. This is an adult film. This is not a child, this isn't a fucking children's film. It's an adult movie with adult humor and adult situations. And yes, what?
It's very sexual.
Yes, and if you, like myself, have a very crude, vulgar, distorted sense of humor, then you will love the movie. As Daniel said, if you can find a theater that's showing it, I would say to go to the theater because it makes it that much better to have the sound all around you, the big screen, and it's, hopefully there's no fucking assholes talking around you or in front of you. But otherwise, I mean, the only other option would be to wait. So I'd say to see it however you can, really. But I certainly would highly recommend it. It was a really good movie.
Yeah, I think I could recommend the theater. Like everybody's saying, if you like the dark humor. The funny part is I wanted to see the movie because of Matthew McConaughey, because of obviously the character in Killer Joe. You see the trailer. So like I said, I think I would recommend it for people who really want to see it or actually have a pretty good interest in watching it. I'd see it in the theater. But if you don't really think you're gonna like it or whatever, don't even just go rent it if it comes out. Don't even bother taking the chance.
It's not an everybody movie.
And then also like the nudity, like some people are gonna be put off by it.
Yeah.
Because like it shows women full frontal, in certain parts.
Furry women.
You don't see any men full frontal, thank goodness, which is
I
funny.
could have gone for Matthew McConaughey, but I'll take what I got.
The funny part is that too. It's like you kind of wonder like why only women full frontal.
Who wants to see a man fucking what man? Well, I don't know.
Well, I guess saying, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like
Would you have wanted to see fucking what's his name, the old Ansel's dick or fucking
no, not that at all. But like you said, it's just funny to see.
fucking cock and balls out?
Well, it's funny because you think about it, only the women were full frontal.
Yeah.
So yeah, but like I said, for people who really think they're gonna like this movie or actually have a pretty good interest in it, I would recommend the theater. But if not, don't even bother. You can save your money and wait till rental. Like Josh said, you can probably watch a little bit of it. If you don't like it, you can shut it off. Yeah, but like I said, we like the movie overall.
So wait till they show it on TV.
The edited version. It's gonna be 30 minutes long. An after school special.
Yeah, that's right.
No, but I don't know, like I said, I would recommend it to people who really want to see it. We all pretty much agree that we enjoyed it. I enjoyed it.
Josh partially enjoyed it. I'm ready to see it again.
I'll watch it again, depending on what they put on the Blu-ray. I'll more than likely buy it. Like I said, depending on special features here. I don't want to buy a Blu-ray with just a trailer on it. But, yeah.
Well, of course, that'd be a fucking waste of money.
But yeah, like I said, I guess we're all in agreement. Good movie. It was worth the money to go see it in the theater. Good experience.
I paid to see it.
Somebody went and bought nachos. Good experience in the theater. I thought we were going to have a problem with those old people in front of
Yeah,
us.
I was gonna fucking say something, and then I was like, well, let's just wait.
They did kind of kill the mood, though.
Which part?
Mostly the whole movie.
Really? I'm
I
kidding.
don't feel like- I got
guess-
so into the movie that after a while I didn't even hear him anymore.
I guess I was paying too much attention.
Yes.
You're like, what are those people doing up there?
Well, no, because like I could hear everything they were saying though, because they were
Well,
like,
so could I. The fucking guy was talking Spanglish, and the fucking lady was explaining it to him, and I was like, oh.
she was like explaining the movie to him, and then she asked him like, "Are you bored?"
I know. I was like, what the fuck?
And then I thought was dumb though was that at the end you see Chris buy the gun, and then the lady in front of us, she acts so surprised when he draws the gun. I was like, what do you think he bought the gun for?
She fucking like just about screamed when Jax fell off of the fucking bridge in the Sons of Anarchy trailer.
Before the film
Yeah,
started?
Before the fucking movie even started, that should have given you like a hint.
She thought all the trailers and the commercials were a part of the film. What kind of movie is this?
An amazing movie.
But yeah, that's very true. Like,
That's why I'm saying, as long as you're fortunate enough to not have fucking assholes around you talking and shit, it's fine.
yeah, but that's pretty funny though. Why would you think you bought the gun for?
Pretty much.
It's like, he bought the gun. Oh my gosh, he's gonna use the gun. Thought he bought it for his collection.
Yeah.
Like the drug dealer actually bought a gun to use it to kill somebody or try to.
Well, I thought it was funny though was like when the guy was selling him the gun, how he gave him the bullets before he even got the money. Like when you do that, you give him the bullets after you get the money.
What I thought was stupid was he was fucking walking around like messing with it, and then he stuffs it back into. Everybody's already fucking seen you playing with the goddamn gun.
Yeah, I know, but it's still a movie.
All right.
Oh, you know what I should say? I should come back into this, that it's a movie. It's supposed to be set in Dallas, Texas, or nearby.
Yeah, it was filmed in Louisiana.
I know, that's the funny part.
I was like, there's plenty of small towns in Texas.
That's hilarious.
The ironic part is how it wasn't filmed in in Texas itself. Like, you figure it, I don't know, maybe it's a budget issue or like tax cut or something. But anyways,
Okay,
so
that's it.
wrapping it up.
Yes.
We recommend the movie for those who want to see it in the theater. If you don't, like I said, rent it. I guess, do we even do the 3 stars at all or 5 stars?
No.
We don't do that at all. All right,
Just
well,
recommendations.
all right. Well, like I said, we are the movie trio. I am Daniel,
Josh.
I'm Sherry.
and this is a review for Killer Joe. Hopefully you enjoy it.
Ow!
Okay.
So hopefully you enjoy the movie and our review. So good night, everybody.